Hello, Supreme Beings, and welcome to another episode of the Reaper Review with Quan Pierre. Today is a YouTube exclusive because last night I watched The Strangers Chapter 1 in theaters, and I have thoughts. A review on the film itself, my initial thoughts, and my thoughts since I let everything marinate. You're going to want to hear all three. We're going to waste no time. I'm about to get right into it. First, my thoughts on the movie overall. I would say on the surface level, jump scares did what they needed to do. It was bona fide horror. The tension was there, and it gave the brutality I would expect from, The Strangers. It was the usual structure of The Strangers. This movie was giving tons of jump scares and loud music from beginning to end. Honestly, I don't have that many thoughts, don't lie. I'll explain why in a sec. Good movie. I'd recommend it. Now, here's why I wish I never bought that damn ticket. Okay, so... let's just really get into it. Let's just really get into my experience when it comes to this film. I'm not going to string it along. I went into this film expecting something completely different. All right, so I paid for this movie to watch it out of nowhere. I already planned on paying to watch it in theaters, but I just got paid and I was going to spoil myself, give myself a little something to celebrate the work week or, Anyways, going into this movie, and I'm not the only one based on the research that I've done, I was under the impression this was going to be a prequel. Since this movie was announced, I was being told that it was going to be a prequel. I don't remember ever hearing anything else. Since the artwork came out, people almost got a confirmation that this was going to be a movie about the events that took place before the first film. And that made sense to me. That made absolute sense to me. I'm going to stick a pin. I'm going to get into why in just a sec. All right, remember, we're going in sections. I'm going to get back to that in a minute. So I'm watching the movie, and I'm there. I'm going after watching the trailer and seeing all the conversation online, thinking I'm watching a movie about, maybe the killer's first kill and where they, got their feet wet. So I'm watching the movie and I'm well into about many minutes and I'm starting to pick up on some, parallels, if you will. The couple in a new house on vacation, the heavy focus on their relationship dynamic, the focus mainly on the wife's perspective. It's within this time of noticing these things, I'm realizing, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, we have yet to get in anything to do with a backstory of any kind. And that's when I say to myself, wait, this is a fucking remake. And with this realization is where I just tried to spend the last couple minutes just waiting to see what I saw before. When I realized I was sitting here watching a remake of something I already seen, I was just like, you know what? Let's just hope for the best. Let's just hope for it. Let's hope for the best. It was already, like I said, it was already good from here, right? But I'm just going to continue. I'm just going to continue. Okay. So I'm just waiting there, just waiting for the moment. The moment. The iconic scene, the them being tied up and the killer's there. I was just curious at this point to see how they were going to execute it in this now what I know is a remake. I just wanted to see if it was going to give what the original gave now that I was aware of what that I'm watching. It was a good ending scene. It was a good ending scene for me until they get to the line. The line, you know what line I'm talking about. The question is asked, why are you doing this? And then Dollface looks at the woman and then she goes, 'cause you were home. But they don't do that. She don't say that. Spoiler alert, by the way. Instead, they do this whole line where it was because you were here. And honestly, it gave what the Jigsaw ending gave when old dude tried to make I Speak for the Dead work, but it didn't work. Because you were home just hit differently. And we what's more ominous. I guess home is, because home is supposed to be where you feel safe and comfortable, right? So here's someone basically tell you to your face, the reason I'm murdering you and your husband is because you were in the safe place, just hits different. And the word home makes it hit. That might be minuscule and minor and base and petty as fuck, but it's just my opinion and I'm gonna give it. I'm petty and I'll be that, but that's just how I feel about that. Ultimately, my initial thoughts leaving the theater was honestly confusion. Not because it didn't make sense. Not because it was absolutely terrible. Because it made perfect sense. I've seen it before. I understood the first time I saw it. And it wasn't terrible. My main confusion came from I didn't understand why the remake was being done at all. Like, I personally don't think The Strangers needed a remake. I don't know if people were asking for this. I never heard no one ask for a Strangers remake. Like, the sequel came out, like, in 2008, not too long ago. Like, I know the main characters had died, but a prequel could have easily, like, solved that issue. I also made, like, a Facebook horror group, right? And I posted my feelings about this and how I thought it was a prequel and everything. Because now I'm thinking maybe I just assumed based on nothing. But no, even those people were saying the trailer even was set up like it was a prequel, which I didn't even catch at first. But, like, the trailer, thank God someone refreshed my memory, even said near the end, witness how the strangers became the strangers. Girl, apparently we did that already. You showed us the same story we already saw. Only thing different really was the setting. That's like basically the only thing that was really like the real different thing. And like the movie just triggered me and my thoughts on basically the state of films today. I feel like we're in the age of, how would I say it? I would say like obsessed nostalgia. Remakes are taking over instead of just making original concepts or diving deeper into original concepts. Now, for me, I understand there are some movies I feel like need remakes. Like there are some movies that I've been like, oh, I'll watch a modern day remake of this. I'll watch a modern day remake of that too. But they ain't pacing themselves. It's a remake. Like, there have been so many just remakes of the same movies lately, and it's been making movie going actually pretty boring, in my opinion. Like, I don't understand it with so many, like, the different talent out here nowadays and so many stories being spread through books and people sharing their ideas online. Why they keep just telling what's already been seen, already been told. To be honest, if I wanted to rewatch The Strangers, even after seeing this one, I just watched the original movie. The original I felt was much more intense and suspenseful and much more scary in my opinion. Like I said, the movie wasn't bad. I just didn't think it was necessary. And now that I let the movie like marinate a bit, now that it's made now, I can like say if they're planning to continue the legacy of these horror characters, I can understand making a remake, but you could have gave us something new to the story. I guess their way of doing that was like involving the townspeople more, but like I ain't even give a fuck about the people in the town in the original movie. Like that did nothing for me. And they want to do a remake and include more backstory. That would have been a perfect 10 out of 10 to me. But right now, it was just the same movie with like a setting difference and a few more characters. But back to what I was saying. Back to what I was saying though. If they wanted to continue the legacy, I could understand a remake. I'll give them that. Like, I'm curious to see how the sequel goes. I'm positive it'll be different from Pray at Night, or else what the hell are we doing? Like, at that point, are we just, if it's not different, are we just remaking stuff we've seen already? Am I excited for a sequel to this new universe? Not right now, honestly, but I may be later with a new trailer for it. Like, when the trailer comes out, it might change my mind. Again, the movie is good. I would say it's perfect for anybody who probably didn't like the original. Someone who probably wasn't really feeling the original like that. Watching this one, because it does have like a new energy to it. Like I said, it's heavily jump scare dependent, heavily loud music. Like, it's very that. Like, if you prefer movies like horror movies like that, this would be that movie for you. So I would recommend it for someone like that. Like, I know it sounds like I hated it, but I promise I didn't. I just had a lot of questions. Like, why were my girls wearing beanies? I remember I saw a post, like that's another thing that stuck in my head. I remember I saw a post where people were asking why are the girls wearing beanies. And people were like, oh, well, they had to start off somewhere. Like, and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, they're starting off somewhere. It's a prequel, so why not? But like, knowing that's just a remake, like, why are my bitches in beanies? Like, get my girl doll face her inches down the back. Like, no, but yeah. Even after saying all this, would I still recommend the movie? Yes. If you're open to the idea of The Strangers remake, yes, I would recommend it. Just like if you want to see a different perspective of the movie, yes, check it out. I just personally, like I said, didn't find it necessary. And I went in thinking it was going to be a different story or something else, which I should have known better, especially in this day and age of film. Like, but, you know, some people might say, why would you think it literally says chapter 1, bitch? I thought it would be in like, you know, like chapter 1 of them, not chapter 1 of the same fucking franchise. But like, it is what it is. Hopefully a sequel, the trailer is fab, and I get excited for the next installment. Well, you guys, this is my Reaper review of Strangers Chapter 1. It was a quick little one, just something I haven't posted on here in a minute, so I just wanted to like give you a little something. If you're interested in more of the Reaper review, you can subscribe and just wait for me, babes. Or if you want more from me in general and see some of my other reviews, you can go ahead and click the links in the bio for the Quan Pierre Scream Supreme podcast, where I just talk all things horror and true crime, and I try to keep it as updated as possible. There are so many other movies coming out. For example, the Beetlejuice movie is coming out. I heavily plan on talking about that. I already did it before, a little bit talking about the trailers down in the podcast, so you can go click those links and check that out. This is just those I want to post on here, you know, like get some new people on track with the podcast. So like, if you want to watch, check it out. Like I said, click the links, available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So, you know, come over. We've been having a good time. Me and the Supremes been having a good time just talking all the horror stuff. But yeah, thank you to all the Supremes that came back and listened to me again. And thank you to the new listeners. And till next time.